Hi everyone, how's it going? I'm Joachim and today I'm gonna show you my record collection. Or rather, I have picked out my 10 or I think even 11 absolute favorite records that I own because I want to show you, I want to show you new music that you might not have discovered yet, and I want to show you what I listen to. And if you want a video on my whole record collection, as you can see behind me, there are a few records more. There's a few records. It's not a big collection, but at least more than 11 records. So if you want to see a video on all of them, or a part of them, or whatever, then let me know in the comments down below and give this video a thumbs up if you want to hear more about my records. The first record I want to show you is by the band Sculpt. Hello. Here I am. And here is the band. Here are the boys playing this high-powered American gasoline rock and roll, but also metal and punk rock and roll. It's hard to describe. I have links down in the description to Spotify so you can listen for yourself. I really enjoy this record because it has a lot of power, it's a lot of tempo, and I had to get out of my way a little bit to get this because I had to get it directly from the label, or maybe, well, it was some Swedish online store that sold this, and I think you could only get it there. Right now, I don't know. I didn't do any research. I should have, but you can find this on Spotify if you want to listen to this record. The next record I want to show you is this one by Nena, Feuer und Flamme. And yeah, Nena is a German band that was like the pioneers in Neue Deutsche Welle, which is an 80s German genre, and it's like 80s pop rock. It's very straightforward, but it's also very nice. It's a very experimental a little bit, but also very solid, like straightforward pop rock, and I really like the sound of this one. It's really 80s, really European 80s. So definitely give this a listen. This was one of my first records. I mean, I grew up with my parents' records, but this was one of the first I got on my own off of eBay. I bought 5 Nena records, I think, but this is definitely my favorite one. This next record I had to go a little bit out of my way to get because it's one of the most sought after and famous Swedish jazz records, and it's a record full of Swedish traditional folklore songs. You know, not folk songs like the American kind, but Swedish traditional music, but in a jazz style by the pianist Jan Johansson, and we also have the bass player Georg Riedel on this record, and both of them are pioneers in Swedish jazz. Jan Johansson also wrote the theme song for Pippi Longstocking, you know, the här kommer Pippi Långstrump, and so on. And Georg Riedel also wrote a lot of Astrid Lindgren themes for TV. If you didn't know, and if you don't know who that is, I can't help you. But I really love this record. It's very calming. It's very it feels like home in a way. You can really picture the forests and the Swedish landscape when listening to this. But it brings a lot of feeling because it's something different. You should really take a listen because it's not like your usual jazz record. It's very minimalistic, Scandinavian minimalistic, so to speak. And then we have this record, Deep Purple live in Japan, and it was also a little bit hard to get because it's a very sought after record, considered one of the best live albums, and it's your classic Deep Purple, right, from '72. So you have a Highway Star and Child in Time and even Smoke on the Water on this album. It's very, very vividly recorded. If you have a nice set of headphones and you listen to this, it's just like being there on the stage, because they really used state-of-the-art recording equipment. At least it sounds like it, because yeah, it's very nicely recorded. So give this one a listen. And speaking of records that are a little bit hard to get, I have this one, West Side Story. The musical West Side Story, but played by the Oscar Peterson trio, which Oscar Peterson is kind of a role model for me as a pianist, because his playing is just, it's undescribable, and the arrangement of these West Side Story songs, they are really, 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 really good. I really love to listen to this record, especially the arrangement of Tonight is my favorite. So yeah, you should definitely give this one a listen. And as a Swede, I need to show you something from ABBA, of course, and this is my favorite ABBA album, Arrival. It's very nice. It has all the classics, Money Money, Dancing Queen, and it's just a very nice record. Like, not just the songs, but the composition of all the songs together in one album. It's very nice, and you can feel the Swedishness in the music, at least on this album, because Benny Andersson, he was very inspired by Swedish traditional music, like folklore music. So you can really hear that on this album, which gives it a bit of the same atmosphere as this jazz record. For me, at least, you can really feel this Nordic Scandinavian landscape in a foggy twilight, kind of eerie atmosphere. It's hard to explain, but I really love this record as well, mostly for the same reasons as that I like this one. So ABBA, of course, on the list, but maybe not for the normal common reasons. This one was also a little bit hard to get. It's one of the best jazz albums, in my opinion, out there by John Coltrane. A Love Supreme is like a whole work of if you have a classical music, you have works, right? You have masses and such, and this one is like a mass. I think he had religious intent when he wrote and played this, and but anyway, it's a very nice put together composition. There are 4 tracks, and they are very, very nicely put together. He moves a little bit towards his avant-garde era with this one. It's maybe to the unexperienced jazz listener, it might sound a little bit more like a wall of sound, but at least on this record he maintains some kind of a melodic structure. So definitely take a listen. You might be surprised. This record is also one that you wouldn't see that often. It's a Swedish record by Jailbird singers. The album is called Shiva, ballader och barnatro. And the fun fact here is that they were in fact jailbirds. They were convicted Swedes, I think, for like burglary and that kind of stuff. They played Christian songs and like American folk a little bit, you know. Here we have Only If You Praise the Lord is one song, and Precious Lord Take My Hand, and other like Salvation Army type of songs. But also here we have a song called En öl till, which means one more beer. So it was it's an interesting album, but it has that Americana feel to it. You have a guitar, you have your double bass, and your I don't know, what is he playing? 2 guitars and a double bass. Here you can see. Yeah, so they look very young. They weren't that old actually, but they were criminals, and this makes the album a little bit more interesting in my opinion. But some of these songs are really nice to listen to, and actually I hadn't noticed this before, but this looks like it's from you can see Radio Malmöhus. So it's from the archive of a Swedish radio station. Now to some of the obvious ones. Here we have something by Queen, and this album is my favorite album by Queen because of the whole composition of all the songs, not because there's one song on there that I particularly like, but all songs together fit very nicely, making up this album, which is a treat to listen to from not back to back, that's what you do with a book, but you know, from the whole side A and the whole side B. It's just very nicely put together, so I really enjoy this album. And then we have, of course, MJ, Michael Jackson. Thriller is one of those albums that you just have to love. Also, this one is very nicely put together, so you can listen to the whole album. A lot of his hits are on here, so of course this is gonna be one of my favorites. And since I love my synths and so on, you can hear a lot of nice classic synths on this one. You have the Jupiter 8 for instance, and probably played on Thriller for instance. It's so nice. Good job, MJ. And the last record I want to show you is this one by the Swedish artist Thomas Ledin. The album is entirely in Swedish, but there are good songs on here, good rock type of songs. This album is from 1990, so maybe you could kind of imagine what kind of music is on here. You should have a listen, it's very good. I'm a bit emotionally invested in this one, so the songs are not only good on their own, but I have you know, emotional bond to them because my parents have the CD. I grew up with the CD. They dubbed it onto a cassette, and we traveled a lot with a camper, for instance, so we would listen to this in the car. So I listened a lot. I saw this in a record shop in Sweden one day and just couldn't pass on buying it. I mean, if you look at this price, 20 Swedish crowns, it's like $2 or something, so I just had to pick this one up. I'm so sorry for the lighting in this video. I have 3 really big windows here, but apparently that wasn't enough. I should know better after like 300 videos on YouTube, but yeah, I will do better next time. I thought I could just sit down with you casually, just show you my records, and that would be it. But yeah, it's so dark. Hopefully it's not gonna be too noisy when I edit. But whatever. There you have it. My favorite records that I own right now in one video, and I hope I could give you a few tips on some new music to discover. If you want to listen immediately, down in the description I have Spotify links to these albums. I think all of them are on Spotify, so you will find the links there. And I want you to tell me what's your favorite record or CD album or just album. If you're all about digital nowadays, it's fine. Just tell me what's your favorite album, because I want to discover music too. So let me know in the comments down below, and we will see each other in the next video. Okay, take care, bye.